Jack Squad. Hey y'all, this your girl Jackie with Q. Listen up. Uh, you know, black folks, we have been taught to sweep stuff under the rug. Don't talk about it. And definitely don't talk about it outside. Whatever going on in the house, stay in the house, right? That's what we've been taught. Now, I am wondering if some of that that don't apply to everything, right? Now, I'm talking about the Braxton's niece who said somebody SA'd her. And then Trina uh, got up, did a video with her husband typed beside her and was defending her ex-husband that is now deceased, right? Listen, something happened to that girl. Ain't nobody, people don't just make that up. That ain't nothing you just make up, right? Something happened. And the whole family needs to acknowledge that something happened. I'm still putting the blame on their mama. The mama is the matriarch. Now, mama can't make nobody do nothing, but she can encourage, right? And for Trina to say that person, or she didn't say the girl's name. That's your niece. I think there's something deeply, deeply fucked up about them Braxtons. I do. I really do. I don't know. Something else happened in that household besides they were just singing church songs. Something else happened, right? Because they all have such weird personalities, right? At first, I thought Trina was the okay one. And I thought Tawana was too, right? But Tawana is a manipulating, and she's a little bit evil, right? Something else. Because you had that man in your house. You married that man that didn't work and do nothing. How could you do that, right? And then she's the behind the scenes, right? I frankly don't care for any of them. I used to like Tamar. I was a fan of Tamar because I thought she had so much personality and she was so fun and gaga. But we see something's wrong with her. Tracy was my favorite. And I have not watched this new Braxton season 1 or season. I cannot and will not, right? Because it just don't seem right. Because I tried to watch the one when they came back without Tracy. And the whole thing was about Tracy. I was like, this is weird. I'm not watching this shit, right? But there's something wrong with them. And like I said, I thought Trina was the one with the sense. I thought she was the sensible one. She's not, right? I don't know what's going on with her and her husband because he never looks happy. He always got a stern look on his face, right? You have to, when somebody tells you something like that happened, you have to receive that and try to do something with it. Just because that man ain't here don't mean his sins is gone. He still did whatever he did or whatever they say he did. And that's anybody. Just because you're not here no more don't mean we ain't going to talk about what you did or what we think you did. That don't mean that, Tracy. That don't mean, I said Tracy. That don't mean that, Trina. And that was Tracy. I have felt her spirit right there. She was saying, tell it, girl, tell it. Something's wrong with them. Something is wrong with them. And I just think it stems from their mother. Now, and I hate to say this because I'm a mother and I can't control my kids. I cannot. Right? You cannot. But what you instill in them is what you instill in them. And I think they got a spirit of hate or a spirit of something. Somebody help me out in the comments what that spirit they got on that family. What that is, right? Because that is nothing you say. And if you feel like that ain't nothing you say to the world. That was so cruel and inhumane. If you got a thought, and she said, well, she know my number. What? What? And then I was reminded that Trina had remarried him. I remember that. I had forgot all about that, right? I thought that Gabe was an odd character. They're all odd, and their kids are all odd. The Braxton's kids are all odd. They're odd to me. That's an odd family. I don't care what nobody say. That is an odd family, right? Even with Tony. Tony is an icon and all that, but she got with Birdman, that's not a match. They don't seem like they match. And I ain't picking nobody for nobody. It just don't seem like they match, right? And then they married, and then they not married, and then they getting divorced, and then they not getting divorced. All that shit is odd. They're odd. They're an odd batch of folk, y'all. I'm just telling y'all, they're an odd batch of folk. And Trina, you need to have a private conversation with your niece and find out exactly what happened. And if it turns out to be that it was your husband, because they haven't said, because frankly, I thought they was talking about the brother. I don't know whose child that is, or maybe it's the brother's child. I don't know. But you need to have a conversation and let her speak her truth, right? Because what happens when people try to suppress what happened to somebody, and then they suppress it, now they feel like they can't talk about it, and then that builds into something in the inside of them, right? You got to let her speak her truth, and y'all got to listen, all of y'all. Because what I noticed about Tony is just by watching the show, she try not to be in it. She over here, she ain't there, or something, right? Y'all motherfuckers is weird, and y'all odd. And I just loved watching y'all till I realized that. I realized that last season before they left when Tracy carried that season by herself, I realized that, right? And all she wanted to do was be loved by her sisters and her mama. And, we ain't going to talk about that right now. We talking about that niece. Trina, you were wrong. You were wrong. And Tawana, if you upheld it, anybody that upheld it was wrong, right? And I don't know why y'all covering for a dead man anyway. He gone. He can't do nothing to you. Tell the truth. Just tell the truth. That's it.